Have you ever wondered why some men seem so excited in the beginning, but then suddenly disappear, as if the spark just went out overnight? The truth is, there are invisible reasons, subtle behaviors, and even emotional patterns that make a man lose interest even when he seemed completely into it. Today, we're going to uncover those secrets together, and maybe you'll realize that some of these reasons might be happening right under your nose. Men love mystery, but when a relationship turns into an open book, with no suspense or challenge, their minds simply drift away. Think of it like watching a TV series. If every episode is predictable, you eventually lose the desire to keep watching. The same thing happens in relationships when everything becomes too rigid and repetitive. Picture a couple having the same conversation every single day. How was work? Good. And yours? That kind of predictability creates a constant déjà vu. Men, just like women, have brains wired to seek novelty. Without that element of mystery, interest can vanish like steam rising from hot coffee. Now, I'm not saying you need to become unreachable or play mind games. The secret is to sprinkle in small elements of surprise. A change in your tone of voice, a spontaneous date, even a well-timed silence can spark curiosity. It's like giving his brain a little pill of novelty. The mysterious man myth works because the human mind values what it doesn't fully understand. If everything is always on his radar, with no space for a what if, he loses the drive to chase, to explore, and to win you over. And when the thrill of pursuit fades, so does desire. And that leads us straight into another crucial factor, because it's not just predictability that kills interest. There's something even more dangerous, the invisible pressure that can turn affection into obligation. Every man has heard phrases like, "You never text me first," or "Why don't you ever post about us?" Sometimes these comments come disguised as care or a desire for attention, but in his mind, they feel like weight. What once was spontaneous now starts to feel like a chore. Imagine someone giving flowers because they truly want it. It's romantic. Now imagine that same person giving flowers because they feel forced to. The meaning completely changes, doesn't it? That's exactly what happens when affection and attention turn into emotional to-do lists in a relationship. The human brain links pleasure to freedom. When a man feels he has to check off boxes just to keep the peace, a sense of suffocation sets in quickly. He may not put it into words, but the signs show up quietly. Fewer texts, fewer meetups, less enthusiasm. The ironic part is that most of the time, these expectations come from a genuine need for connection. But the result is the exact opposite. He feels controlled instead of loved. It's like trying to hold water with your fists clenched. The harder you squeeze, the faster it slips away. And when we talk about holding on, it leads us right into the next dilemma, the balance between being too dependent and being too independent. Here's a fascinating paradox. Men pull away both from extreme emotional dependence and from complete independence. Sounds confusing, right? But it's actually simple. If you show that you need him for everything, he feels suffocated. If you show that you don't need him for anything, he feels useless. Think of it like a dance. If one partner keeps stepping on the other's feet, the rhythm falls apart. But if they stand too far apart, they can't even touch. The magic lies in the middle ground, being able to walk on your own, but allowing him to walk beside you. Men like to feel important in a woman's life. They don't need to be your only source of happiness, but they want to be a meaningful piece of the puzzle. When they feel they don't make a difference, interest melts away like ice in the sun. On the other hand, exaggerated dependence creates a heavy burden. The relationship stops feeling light and starts to feel like a responsibility. It's like being in a boat where only one person is rowing. Eventually, exhaustion wins. This balance is subtle but powerful, and when it's missing, it opens the door to another decisive factor, admiration. Because deep down, every man longs to feel admired by the woman he chose. One of the most silent poisons in any relationship is the lack of admiration. Men might not openly admit it, but they thrive on feeling respected, recognized, and, even if just a little, like a hero in their partner's eyes. Think about when someone compliments your work. Doesn't it instantly give you a boost of energy? For men, hearing things like, "I really admire how you handle situations," or "I love the way you take care of things," works like emotional fuel. Without that, he begins to feel that anyone could take his place. And when anyone replaces the one and only, interest starts to crumble. That's usually the moment when men become distant, distracted, and sometimes even look for outside validation to fill what's missing inside the relationship. Admiration doesn't need to be theatrical. Often, it's found in small gestures, listening closely, acknowledging his effort, pointing out strengths he might not even see in himself. That attentive gaze is one of the strongest emotional aphrodisiacs. But when he no longer feels valued, routine creeps in, and that's an enemy that slowly but surely kills attraction. You know that moment when a relationship goes on autopilot? The dates feel like copy-paste, the conversations sound like reruns, and even the affection becomes mechanical. That's the effect of the silent routine. It kills the magic without anyone even noticing. The human brain craves predictability for safety, but it also needs novelty to keep desire alive. Without small doses of mystery and surprise, even the strongest relationship starts to wear down. It's like watching the same movie over and over again. No matter how good it is, by the 10th time it's lost its impact. But here's the good news. You don't need grand adventures to break the cycle. Sometimes it's as simple as changing the setting of your date, sending an unexpected text, or showing up with a spontaneous gesture. These little shifts wake up his brain and make him think, "Wow, she still surprises me." Men don't lose interest because the woman isn't interesting. They lose it because the relationship itself stops being exciting. The silent routine is tricky. It gives the illusion of stability while it's quietly draining the spark. And without that spark, even physical attraction begins to fade. Because at the end of the day, what truly sustains interest is something deeper, emotional connection. You can be beautiful, smart, successful, but if there isn't a true emotional connection, a man's interest will always be temporary. It's like buying the latest, most expensive phone and realizing it doesn't connect to Wi-Fi. In the end, the shine wears off. Emotional connection is born out of shared vulnerability. It happens when you show your real self, no masks, no filters, and he feels safe enough to do the same. That safe space creates a bond that goes way beyond appearance or status. Men may be drawn in by beauty, but they stay because of belonging. When they feel they can be themselves, with flaws, fears, and dreams, the relationship grows roots that are almost unshakable. Without that, everything remains on the surface, and surface-level things don't last. Here's the twist. Many women believe looks are the ultimate attraction factor, but in reality, it's emotion that decides whether his interest will last. Beauty grabs attention, but emotional connection is what keeps his heart tied. And speaking of hearts being tied, there's one last secret that often goes unnoticed. Feminine energy, which can naturally attract or silently push him away. Feminine energy is like an invisible magnetic field. It doesn't depend on clothes, body shape, or social status. It's all about how you show up in life. Men can feel when a woman radiates confidence, lightness, and self-worth. Picture walking into a room and seeing two women, one nervous, uncomfortable, staring at the floor, and another smiling, confident, owning her presence. Without saying a single word, the second woman has already drawn more attention. That's feminine energy in action. Authentic feminine energy isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. It's feeling comfortable in your own skin and radiating that unspoken, "I know who I am," which makes a man instantly notice you. That kind of power attracts naturally, without effort, like a flame pulling in the moths. But when that energy is replaced by insecurity, constant need for approval, or endless comparisons, the effect flips. He pulls away, often without even realizing why. He just senses that something feels off. And that's exactly why, so many times, without a clear reason, a man loses interest. Because real interest was never just about looks, it's always been about energy. So tell me, which of these reasons did you relate to the most? Have you ever noticed a man losing interest because of one of these? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help another woman understand this mysterious side of men. If this video made sense to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and share it with that friend who always wonders why men suddenly pull away. After all, understanding is the first step to transforming. And who knows, maybe your next love story will be completely different, simply because now you hold the keys that many never discover.